goddamn vampires. That's it. It's Patrol time. That's it.
Okay.
Stupid shit. That's stupid shit. I love
fuck. Honestly, that was great, and it was very surprising. I was very surprised because you're, again, never just like, hey, about to do a thing.
Oh shit! All right, man. 395. It feels good to be back in the saddle, man. Almost on time, but it's still running late. Goodness gracious! I'm the host.
My fault.
I'm the host of Fans of Patrol. My name is Montego. With me is the lovely Tiffobot. What's going on with you this week, Tiff?
Well, it's the start of a new week, so who knows?
Yeah, well, yeah. So, man, you weren't feeling good yesterday, so you feeling better today.
And I felt like shit. Yeah, and I feel okay.
That's going around, the feeling like shit.
Well, then you're like automatically like, well, I probably have COVID. Well, I guess I think that, but I guess maybe a lot of people don't. And that's why we all get it.
No, I'm like, you think I got COVID? When I was sick that time, I tested negative, but I was still like,
yeah, you just get a test, make sure.
I have it? Sure. What the hell did that? I hope not. So yeah, man. Other than that, man, we got an interesting show for you. So I couldn't even find shitty news this week, Tiff. So we don't got no news.
Yeah. It's a no news day. I was gonna make a joke about no news, but then I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, well, it happens, right? So at least
that was the most flat. That was so embarrassing, and I was like, "Nah, keep going." And I was like, fuck it. Let's just go back." That was. I'm so discombobulated.
Okay.
We should have a name for a segment with no news.
Man, no news Monday. Something. I don't know.
I was gonna say no news Monday.
All right, that's something.
As well, but it doesn't fucking mean anything, and that's why I stumbled. So I was like, "Fuck." Yeah, I made you go back.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And today's not even Monday. So.
Yes, I know. What the fuck? Whatever. Anyway, there's no fucking news.
Right. So what we are gonna do, man, is we're gonna incorporate some stuff in here, and so we're gonna do a list, and we're gonna do. We did a one-shot. She-Hulk came out this week.
Some fancy new arm movement.
That's right. And the main topic is The Day Shift, man. New on Netflix, starring Jamie Foxx mostly, and some other people.
Starring Jamie Foxx mostly.
Well, Snoop Dogg is in it, but
oh shit!
I think his role is a little over-exaggerated. But we'll get.
Oh, but yeah.
We're talking about
Dave Franco.
Oh, Dave Franco. He was in this. Oh, yeah. That's
his partner.
That's the little brother, right? That's the little brother. Of course. He's in it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. He's really the co-star, if you ask me. Anyway, we'll get to it.
Cool. Yeah.
So our list is. I hope we ain't do this list in the past, but
I think we might have
top 5 vampire movies.
I like how you are like, I don't care. I'm still gonna do it.
Still gonna do it. F it. If we did it, it's been so long I don't even remember what it was. So that's the show, man. That's it. That's all that we're gonna roll. Are you ready to roll?
Yeah.
Indeed. Let's go. All right, man. We are back, man. It's time to roll, man. Now, I know y'all looking and things might seem a little different here, but it's all the same thing as is going around and we're good. So, Tip, it is time for social media shout out. Could you tell the people where other places they can find us and listen to us and see us?
Absolutely. So for everything Fans of Patrol, go to fansofpatrol.com, or you can email us at fans@fansofpatrol.com, or you can visit our social media, which is at Fans of Patrol on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Please check out our TikTok, which is Fans of Patrol 0. Patreon, which we have some good stuff over there. Check us out for as little as $1. YouTube, and of course on your favorite listening platform, which if you don't see us there, let us know. But it seems that the work does itself there.
Hey Tiff, I put out a brand new doll video.
yeah, actually I did see that, a little doll, and you were so excited. Didn't even hear it at first, and I knew how happy you were.
I was so happy to get one out, man, because it's been so long So go check that out, guys, because I put Moff Gideon out. It's out there. You can get a review, and I got it like about 6 minutes. So it's not like 20 minutes worth of talking about a goddamn doll. So
Do
anyway,
you think if you walked up to somebody on the street,
yes,
how many people how many people out of 10 would know who Moth Gideon is? How many? Do you think any out of 10? 0 out of 10?
probably 0 out of 10 would know who.
Probably 0 out of 10. How many people do you think you'd have to ask before you found someone who knew?
Maybe about 18 people, but probably somebody.
You think 18?
Yeah,
I think
people
more
are
than that.
surprising.
I think like probably 45 people.
No, because The Mandalorian has a lot of people watching it. Even at work, I talk to people. They talk to me because once they find out,
I feel like we should put on Twitter right fucking now
Okay.
a poll that
Who is
says,
Moff
do you know who Moth Gideon is? Yes or no? And then as soon as we get 18 responses,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, you look.
That's a polluted sample, but I'm very interested.
If you watch The Mandalorian 100%, you know who Moff
Yes.
Gideon is, and so it was for those people who enjoy the.
No, I'm not making fun of you. This was just purely scientific because I don't know. So I would think that maybe it's for every 5 people.
And also, I want to reiterate to the fans out there that it is the what do you call it the lounge time, man.
Yeah, there's drinking, but only a little.
Only a little. We just started,
Only it's small.
and I'm gonna keep myself together because I don't feel like editing a segment with me like oh Anyway, man. So here we are with our list. Now I know I said at the top of the key that we were gonna talk about our favorite vampire movies, but in between the segments I did my research and we did that already. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to change it not to the top 5 vampire movies, but I wanted to change it to top 5 vampires, which is completely different to me, man. Because
It is.
the movie
It's
could be
so different.
the movie could be dope, but you could have a lame ass vampire like Nicolas Cage eating a bug, and it's still a good movie. So that's what we're gonna do. So Tiffo,
Okay. Yes.
top 5 vampire people.
Starting with 5.
Starting with 5.
Okay.
Working our way
The
to
least
stuff.
good. The
And
least good.
D.
So this is I'm so ashamed to say this, but I think bearing our shame, that's what makes for a good show, telling everybody what's horrible about ourselves.
Right.
So I guess one of my favorite vampires is Aiden from Being Human, not even the British one, the US one. Played by Sam Witwer.
Right, the 3 roommates,
Yes.
right?
Sci-Fi is a terrible channel. No, I thought the show was good, and I do think that the actors on there, I like Sam Huntington. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
those were good actors and actresses, or I'm sorry, actors, all of them. But
So wait a minute.
I thought the show was charming. What?
Out of this show,
Yes.
put him as top 5 vampires of all time.
Yeah,
This
honestly,
guy.
can I tell you the reason I'm laughing so much is because you asked me about the top 5 vampires,
Yeah.
and I used to be a big vampire person. In high school, I read like
too.
all of the Anne Rice books.
No, wait a minute. I wasn't an Anne Rice vampire. I was a Lost Boys vampire.
I was like into vampires,
Mhm.
but then as I got older, it was less.
He was like, hissing is stupid as hell. What is that?
And I'm more of a werewolf fan these days. And so I don't have a lot of like when I think about vampires, I have very few that I'm like, oh, my favorite. Even my favorite from back then, I don't really have a favorite then. You know what I mean? I don't like it anymore, really.
You didn't think about it like that, but the shit just keeps going on and on. Like there's.
Here's the thing: get off my fucking back because what do you want me to have the same fucking 5 as you? You fucking piece of shit.
Nope.
Tell me, you can pick any vampire, and that's your
You
number.
do not have the same 5 as me. So
I don't. That's what I'm saying. Fuck you. It'd be boring if we did.
my number 5,
Yeah.
Blackula. Look,
Yeah.
Blackula was a black man with a cape. That was all I needed back in the day was a black man with a cape. So Blackula was like he was like he's cool, but he's not cool. You know, the name made him cool, but then we started watching it, he was like so stuffy and I. He was like, well, he's not cool, but the name alone made him cool. Blackula. My my daughter's cat. He's a black cat. His name is Blackula. Ain't nothing cooler than that name, Blackula. So that's my number 5 from the
I like that.
70s movie Blackula. You know. So what's your
Perfect.
number
Perfect.
4, Tiff? So number 4, Tiff, where are you at?
So this one is a little bit more because like I like her from what I've seen because I didn't actually play the game, but I watched a lot of it. Is Lady Dimitrescu? Dimitrescu. I have a hard time saying it. She's from Resident Evil
Oh shit.
7. Is that right? Yeah.
Oh shit. That's the one that's out
8.
now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't played it. She's top 5, Tiff?
I'm telling you, there's when you asked me this question, I did not get excited.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
That's what I'm telling you. And I'm not even like I'm like, okay, cool.
So Tiff is doing mercy humps here, so so that's cool. So I'll go to my number 4. My number 4, oh, I'm almost ashamed to say this.
Go on.
Damon Salvatore from The Vampire Diaries, because I used to watch that show.
Oh my fucking god. Montego,
He was
stop.
cool as hell. He was
I'm
cool.
trying to be good to stop.
Look,
Listen,
I met his
wasn't
brother at a con, and his brother was cool as shit. But I did
fuck Montego. Come
no.
on.
This guy was like a piece of shit on the show, and he was cool as hell because he was a piece of shit. He almost seemed like he was making fun of the Twilight vibe of the whole show, and so I dug him the whole time because he was just like his brother like attacked him once, and he was like, ah! And he was like, what the fuck was ah? And I was like,
Oh, Montego, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use this is going I was embarrassed to tell people that I was like, oh, I like the Being Human show. Now I don't give a fuck. I look like I have the best taste in my Montego.
Vampire Diaries, not the show, but Damon Salvatore was cool as hell. He's still a cool dude, and he ended up.
You know what? Good for you. Embrace your joy, Montego.
Hold up, the actor Ian Somerhalder. He ended up getting. He's on a.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So he's on a.
Just because he's a good actor doesn't mean the show's good. Get off my
No,
case.
the show is not good. I said he was cool. We are doing coolest.
But your favorite vampires, you shit on my number 5 favorite vampire, and then you bring up this teeny bopper bullshit. And not only do you bring it up, you're like, I love
You say
it.
teeny bopper. This dude is like literally almost my age, man.
But the show is teeny bopper. The show is teeny bopper.
It very much was, but because it was a teeny bopper show and he came on, he was kind of like making fun of all that shit, you know. So it was like, cool
Oh
to
my
me.
god.
Yeah. I like this. I like the actor. He's on V Wars now. That on Netflix. And look. I haven't watched V Wars, but when he was on Vampire Diaries, I was like, this dude is.
What
cool
is
as
V
shit.
Wars?
It's another vampire show.
Is it a vampires? Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it's a
Okay,
vampire
listen.
show. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Number 3.
I'm very
Number
happy
5.
for you. Number 3. My number 3 is D from Vampire Hunter D. And I will tell you,
The hell
it's
is
an
that?
anime. It's an anime.
Go
It's
ahead.
really cool. It's a movie. Fuck off.
Okay.
Now I know he's a Dampier, which is like a half human, half vampire.
Okay.
And I know that some people
like Blade.
like Blade, yes. Yes. So I get that people might, but I had a hard time with this list. And come on, guys.
No, that's bullshit. Half vampire. What vampire? You suck blood. Blah blah blah.
Right.
You on the
He
list?
has a hand. His hand is like a talking. It's got an eyeball in it. It's great.
Really?
You should. I honestly, well, know what? You know what? I don't recommend that you watch it because you'd fucking hate it. I can already tell you wouldn't like it.
Tiff,
Save yourself some time.
Tiff, you never know about me.
Fuck off. If you
Sometimes I
routinely listen
surprise
to
you,
this
Tiff.
show,
I surprise you
if you
sometimes.
if you fuck my god, yeah, sure, you surprise me sometimes.
Look, look,
Whatever you want,
hey,
whatever you
everybody.
want.
Tiff has no patience for me. She's being a piece of shit. She has no tolerance. She's intolerant. She's the man. Tiff is the man right now, y'all.
You piece of shit. Oh my god. No.
Right. She has no tolerance.
Okay, listen. What's your number 3? Was it number 3?
Yes. My number 3 was Jerry Dandridge from Fright Night.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense for your list. Yes.
I love the original 1985 version of Fright Night. And Jerry Dandridge, you know, if you watch it now, he kind of seems like a 80s dad walking around there. But back in the day, he was like, they had this music. You know how movies have like a theme music for a character, and it was like boom, 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 and he would walk in, and he was all sleek and smooth, and he would like eat apples like vampire needed an apple, and like he was like effing women and eating apples. That's look.
Why did he eat apples? He's a vampire. I mean, I've seen the movie, but kind of forgotten.
Yeah, he just like
Aesthetic. He was just looking for it. He is like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, he
I
was
can
like,
throw apples away because I am so vampire rich.
exactly like So Wizard would say. All he did was fuck bitches and eat candy, and he was like, he's so cool. He's so cool. Even when he was like vamping out, he was like, oh. But then at the end, he was like kind of like, oh, and his like hands, his fingers was like this long. And
The
it was like,
audio production that's going on here must be fucking outstanding.
but I mean, seriously, he was like, oh, when the sun comes out.
Fuck, stop.
He was cool as hell, though, man. He was cool as shit, man. He was cooler than Dracula.
Cooler than Dracula. I want that on a shirt. Cooler than
Cooler
Dracula.
than Dracula. I want that shit too.
Cooler than Dracula. Fuck.
Number
sorry,
two,
so-
Tim. Number two.
My number 2, and really, if we're being honest, should be number 1. Is Dracula.
Oh.
Because
Which
no, listen. The
Dracula?
reason
Which one?
I'm the original, the book,
Bela
Dracula from
Lugosi.
Bram Stoker. No, from the book, from Bram Stoker's Dracula, the book.
That's not.
You said I
You
could
did. You did. I did.
do that, and the reason I'm saying that is because obviously we owe a debt of gratitude for all vampires for that book.
Blah, blah.
So, I mean, obviously the vampire legend list existed before that, but I'm just saying.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not aware of that. I thought it started with Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I think it maybe started with Vlad the Impaler, right?
Yeah, right. And then the hate for Muslims, right? Because they were what part of the world they were living in? Portugal, right? And then it was like, what the hell? Yeah. So hate.
You're gonna make me sound stupid. Yeah, I feel really stupid because I'm like, but and you're like, actually, if you look back to the page 42, and I'm like, oh no, thinking.
All right.
Okay, what's your number 2?
My number 2,
Yeah.
David from the Lost Boys. Kiefer Sutherland, man, cool as hell. Look, I had
that little. We talk about this all the time, but that like "Cry, Little Sister." That song is creepy.
Cry, little sister.
Sister.
Why you calling your sister, bro? Kill you. What?
That's a good song, though. I do like it.
Oh hell, that was like almost my 11th grade like theme song. It was dudes
like for you personally, or people voted it.
No,
personally.
No, not personally, but people were dressing up like Lost Boys vampires and
go on.
But it wasn't cosplay. They were like emulating.
It was fashion.
Yeah,
you know what they say that? Yeah, great excuse, peeps.
Yeah. and they were like
Bullshit.
acting
It was
like it.
that's cosplay. If that's cosplay, what the fuck?
It was a
Listen, just
dude
because you
in my
didn't
high
call
school.
it that.
He was dressing like them, and he was a black dude
Oh
with
my
long
god.
Jerry curl, and he was like putting fingers in his mouth and
Oh,
shit.
where is he now?
He looks like a regular dude. That
Do you think he's married?
I don't think he is. No, he's not.
No, I didn't mean to laugh. I meant that
No,
seriously. I
that's
was like,
great. He
I
had
want
a
to meet this man, but I did
he had
laugh.
a hot ass sister, and I was like, I want to get with your sister. I want to get with your sister. But that's it. He just like he was always like one of them dudes that try to walk around like he was single forever and just so hot. He still thought he was like one of them Lost Boys vampires, even at the school reunion. Anyway, David was cool. Lost Boys, in my opinion, literally changed the vampire genre from being and I want to F you to like just being some cool MFers, man, you know?
Cool MFers.
David was the coolest one of them all. Keith Sutherland Keith Sutherland came off of Stand By Me as being a piece of shit, and next thing you know, he was like, Michael. Michael. And we was all like,
Michael, it's maggots.
you know, exactly. So
Oh, okay. Listen, we're gonna put another shirt in the shop. Michael, it's maggots.
Michael with maggots, man. I like it.
I'm
Oh,
writing it down. I'm writing it down.
for copyright. Right?
We better write. Why? He doesn't say that in the movie.
Yes, he does. He's like, you're eating maggot. He said, Michael, you're eating maggots. How do they taste?
Yeah.
He's like,
Michael. So yeah, Michael, it's maggots. It's just abbreviated.
indeed, you pieces of shit. We're gonna steal everything from Hollywood. Tiff, number one.
So my number one is Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh shit! I didn't see that coming. But that is so good. How are you doing, my dear? Let's fuck. What? Holy shit! Laszlo
Everything he
is cool as
fucking
hell.
says kills me.
I don't know, but all I know is I want to fuck. Like
He's
what?
he's delivering the performance of a person who showed up to work and doesn't give a shit.
Let me tell you
But that's the
something.
character, and it's so good.
When Mark Hamill was on that show as his nemesis, that was like the pit. That was like the crescendo of that show. It was like Mark Hamill was like so good, and I didn't even know it was Mark Hamill until like after. You know, he was like, "You are a piece of shit." Ah, they was hissing at each other, and you know they would just had a feud for nothing. But Laszlo is so cool, man. You right. Great choice, Tifflebot. That's your number.
Oh, we're getting a thumbs up.
Yes, that's a great one. Mine is
What's your number one?
oh shit, you know I went to the superhero drama. Blade, bro.
Yeah, I kind of
Blade.
thought. See, like I was gonna put Blade on my list because definitely, but then I was like, when I thought of him, I was like, well, he's half vampire.
Yeah.
But then I would put the other one on there and then just forgot, like an idiot.
Tiff, when the glasses
Yeah.
get hit and then he grabs them, you know, they fly through the air with the CG glasses and then and you know, and then the ass whooping start coming with the glasses on. You just like win all time. Blade wins. I mean, it's the coolest like movie. Okay, you can say it's the coolest vampire movie, 100%.
Yeah.
But then you can say it's almost one of the coolest movies ever, man. That movie is so goddamn cool, and it's been like 20 years, right? And it's still
It's
cool.
still good. Like if
Yeah.
you released that today without telling, like, okay, I had a collective amnesia about it,
Mhm.
and they released the movie today, no editing, no nothing. It is exactly as it is. Just
It's
display it
gonna
on
be
the screen
cool
for
as
you.
shit.
You'd be like, this is a really cool movie.
Man, everybody should watch this shit, man. It don't- the special effects could be a little better.
Have
but
you
it's
seen-
good.
Have you seen Blade?
Right. Blade is the shit. Right? I love it. And Wesley Snipes, I feel sorry for Masala Ali. Because, maybe not. Because
Because he's getting so old.
Sticky Fingers from, what's that group? Chef, bunt on up, let the boys be boys. They did a Blade TV show back in the day.
Okay.
And the Sticky Fingers was Blade. And it was so messed up because he had like a sleepy eye. So he was like,
Don't do that. Don't do that. I swear to God, you can't fucking do that.
and he had
Don't
shades
do
on.
that.
But when he took the shades off, he was like, and it was like, what the fuck?
Uh,
What kind of vampire got like? So anyway,
Everybody, listen. Anyone can be a vampire.
even sleepy eyed vampires. So anyway, it didn't work. I think the show had 8 episodes and it got canceled, but it was based on Wesley Snipes' Blade, and
Okay.
so now Mahershala Ali is gonna be Blade, and Wesley Snipes. I'm sorry, he's a hard act to follow. Look, let me say, I'm gonna show you how dope Wesley Snipes is. We saw Coming to America, right? The best
Hmm.
thing about that movie was the hot ass daughter and Wesley Snipes, right? Wesley Snipes
Hmm.
stole the show in that damn movie, and he was such a minor character. He's a brilliant actor, and in Blade he was perfect. Just don't look at Blade 3. Shut it down at Blade 2. So that's my list, Tiffelbot.
That's my list.
All right. So it's such a better list than what we had planned, Tiffelbot.
I don't know. Guess what was on my list of movies? Dracula, Lost Boys,
All right.
Blade,
All right.
What We Do in the Shadows,
Okay.
and the only one that wasn't mentioned was Buffy because she's not a vampire.
Do you know I'm like one of the few nerds out there who's never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie or
The original movie.
the show?
I've never watched this. I've never watched a show. No interest. Uh, but I have watched the movie, which I do love.
I've never even seen the movie.
I don't know if you would like it, but I do like it.
It seemed very CW-ish with Pee Wee Herman back in the day. So before the CW was cool, and then it
I
wasn't cool.
oh my god.
CW was cool for a minute. It was, when Arrow first came out and stuff, and then Smallville, the shit was cool. So we're gonna take a break, man, and we're gonna come back because what we doing? She-Hulk. Can't wait to talk about She-Hulk.
Oh my god, I fucking forgot.
Oh no! Infobot is not on the job, y'all. We'll be right back.
No, I watched it.
We are back, man, and we are still in the lounge, for our long-term fans who understand what the lounge is, man. So, no news. We had a list. Now we got a one shot. And if you haven't been listening to the show, we have different segments and lists, one shot, facts on patrol. We have different segments. We're just rolling with some segments today. So, what we're doing today is one shot of She-Hulk.
Attorney at Law.
I'm sorry, right? Attorney at Law. That's the whole name of the show. And so, I'm so excited, Tiffelbot. I've been waiting
Yes.
for this, and then they had like the trailer drop, and then it was like the Sonic the Hedgehog. It was like, pull that shit back, redo the CGI.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of CGI problems.
Yeah. And so apparently they pulled it back and redid some stuff. And so it's time to get into it, man. So we watched the inaugural, episode of the She-Hulk, and right about the time that this show is being released, there should be another one being released. So this show, She-Hulk, I think it was only 30 minutes. TV series 2022, TV 14 action adventure comedy. Jennifer Walters navigates the complicit life of a single 30-something attorney who happens 30-something attorney who happens to be a green 6'9" superpowered Hulk. And I find that interesting because in the comic book she's definitely over 7 feet tall.
The Wikipedia says 6'7".
Okay, so the shit is just like all over the place.
It doesn't matter. She's tall. It's like when you try to Google how tall an actor is, and it's like Jake Gyllenhaal is 5'8" to 5'11".
He's 5'6". He's 7'2".
Right.
So, Tiff, who's in this goddamn show from the beginning?
Okay, Tatiana Maslany is our main character here. Of course, there's Mark Ruffalo. He's in this.
So nice to see Mark Ruffalo playing the Hulk.
Looking terrible. Looking terrible.
You thought so?
Jamila Jamil.
Okay.
Gloss over. Ginger Gonzaga.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I don't know. More people.
yeah. Who was actually in this first show? Not Tim Roth, not Benedict Wong, not Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Holy shit! They just had it. Basically, it was Mark Ruffalo
Right.
and the what's her name?
Tatiana Maslany.
That was it. So, man, let's hit the spoilers. Just changing shit up, Tiff. I know. And let's. It's time for word. What you got, Tiff? One word.
So I'm going to say that what my one word for this is charming. I was so surprised by this.
I wasn't, and I'm gonna say my one word was charming. First time in history. So
We
charming.
never had the same word. It's charming.
Indeed.
It's very charming.
It was very, very, very charming, and it just made you feel at home. And
Yeah, and I think like you hear the premise and you're like, dumb. But they very much embrace that it's like, yeah, it's kind of silly.
let me ask you a question.
She's like, this is ridiculous. And you're like, that's pretty good.
How did you feel about the fourth wall breaking? The only other show
I love that.
was
Here's
Deadpool.
That's not true. People talk to the camera all the time.
No, not in Marvel movies. Deadpool was.
Oh, Marvel movies. You said Deadpool. I thought you said Deadwood. And I was like, that's not a Marvel movie.
No.
Got it. No, that doesn't bother me, especially in a television show, because I've watched a lot of television shows with like a monologue or addressing the television.
And for me, there's a lot of Marvel properties, and so for them to take this route with the Deadpool as, fourth wall, don't take me seriously. This shit is just watch this. I thought it was appropriate. Let me put it that way. I thought it was cool, because you got Deadpool, who was gonna get another Marvel movie, and so other than Deadpool, who's been in movies, there's been no character who's done like fourth wall breaking other than Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk. So I thought that was cool. Um, so man, we get into this thing, man, right? Starts off from the beginning. I like the rehearsal of the actor. The I'm this is my summation as a lawyer, and then like she turns toward the screen and breaks the fourth wall. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. I don't know. How did you feel?
No, because like I've said, there's a lot of shows that I've watched with that happening, so it's very doesn't surprise me. And also, honestly, it happens a lot in comic books more often than it does in movies.
Interesting.
Not often, but every once in a while they'll be like, "Boo," whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what I'm saying is that that's not something that should surprise or come out of it, especially if it's interwoven in the show's kind of like overarching feeling. So like the show has kind of like a jaunty we're not this is jovial, it's kind of fun. There's going to be some fighting, there's going to be some other stuff happening, but we're having like a good time.
Yeah. And 100%, you nailed that. Good time, bullshit, problem.
And you think like so I was upset originally when I had seen this trailer, you remember, because I was like, they're just like
You
two
didn't wanna
Hulks
watch
talking to
it.
each other, and this looks so bad, and I just don't want to watch it. But I liked that their dynamic was appropriate, and I don't want to say appropriately, but it's kind of a weird. I feel like sometimes people miss the mark on family dynamics, especially with like distant family or like family that would
That's
not distant, but like
very, very,
yeah.
very, very interesting. That's pretty good that you bring that shit up because, yeah, Jennifer Walters made it very plain to everybody that we are cousins. We love each other, and you're probably my favorite cousin. But goddamn, dude, we don't spend that much time together, and we ain't the same
Right. Here's
person.
the thing. It's like there's a weird thing about cousins where like you form it's like a trauma bond because there's nobody else to talk to at a family vacation. You have shared relatives who pass away. So like it's just like and you do get like you can like not see each other for like 3 years and then see each other and it's just as comfortable as it was. I mean, sometimes depending on who you are and whatever.
Yeah.
As it was like 3 years ago because you just know them. And that's kind of what this was like. Like we are cousins and we are we know each other, we have fun together, but now you've made me a Hulk, and I'm kind of pissy about it.
Right. So what I liked about it so beautifully is that this spaceship comes down and you don't what the hell is happening? And it causes them to have these accidents and then they don't waste their time in like making her a Hulk.
No, I loved that. That was my other problem was like before I watched this, I was worried that there was going to be so much, not only just like the build until she becomes a Hulk, but like the
Yes.
training part. Oh my God, I loved the training part, and it was very well executed as far as the time management was
One hundred
concerned.
percent because it really didn't take that much time, right? So she's in the courtroom and Titania breaks in. Now, for comic book people, Titania, she's actually Bruce Banner's daughter from the future. But she comes in and she like wrecks the courtroom and nobody knows what's happening and she gets knocked out and next thing you know she's with Bruce Banner and his like I love that the world building of the Marvel series happens. He's like, yeah, me and Tony built this thing and
Oh, I did think that was a nice touch, but I also think
oh,
it's
that's such a
nice.
good toy. It's a good toy. Good
I
right?
like that, like, they kind of like lead you out to believe that she's gonna be like really upset, which would make sense. But she's not. But also, I like it that it kind of turns out he's upset because he has that little guidebook that's like, "Oh, I'm gonna teach you how to be a Hulk," and then it turns out that she's like just kind of
Spent
naturally,
years doing that shit, and
she's like
she's
years,
like
and she's
so
just like,
good.
"Tee."
She's like,
I love that.
is this balance? Is this rage? And very much like the comic book tip, like She-Hulk in the comic book never had a problem. She always controlled her hawkness. She always controlled her rage. She it's not even controlled. It wasn't even a factor for her, and they
Hmm.
they showed you that. And so that was I thought it was so cool, and I love the dichotomy that happens between her and Bruce with this training. I love the bar, and what they really do a good job of is like integrating the rest of the MCU into like me and Tony built this bar, and it's like this was our shit, and I'm like, man, that's nice, right? Because you saw in Spider-Man Tony's and Spider-Man's like dichotomy, but then like Bruce and Tony in the MCU was pretty much the closest characters because they were both brains, and you just find out that they had this island with this bar with this what do you call it, this lab. It was like,
Yeah, this kind of like their little
hey,
secret getaway, and
yeah,
maybe they kissed.
maybe, but probably not because Tony liked the hose, not Bruce.
Tony like the. You
Tony
never
liked the
know what
hose.
happens.
But it was like really nice. It felt like home. He was like with the Hawk there. I just thought that way. I don't know. What about you?
Um, I thought that that whole here's what goes by really quickly because
Hmm.
most of the time that she is learning about the stuff on the island. That's basically what we just
It was
talked
fast.
about.
It's fast for sure.
Yeah, and then they go to the courtroom scene, which
Hmm.
we'll talk about here. But like what I'm saying by that is that like most of the time when I watch television, because I not because I have a high standard for television or anything like that, but like because I'm often, just being a piece of shit, it's hard for me to like pay attention to anything for an extended period of time. And so if it draws my attention and I don't notice that time has passed, that's pretty impressive. And so this show went by kind of like that. And suddenly we're at
Massive
the
about.
end. Yeah. So I think that's a good mark of it. I mean, obviously all our experiences are different, but that's a good mark of a television show is if you don't like it goes by so fast that you wish there were more.
Yeah. And it was like, it's over. Fuck. Right. That was the word that was on my mouth when it was over. I was like, God damn it.
So your what the fuck was your one word?
Well, 100%. I'm in Tiflbot. What about you?
Yeah, here's the thing. If I don't watch it, it's because I just forget, not because it's not good.
Because you're being Tiflbot.
But I oh fuck. So I'm sure that you'll remind me probably though. So
100%. Okay, I'm gonna say this in front of the fans right now. I want to watch this whole series and finish it off with you, and we can put it on half Patreon, half fans. Me and you and Tifobot.
All right.
Smooth has been like stepping up and doing that duties, but you know the people love Tifobot. So we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back. Is it our third act? It's time for
It's almost over.
Yeah, no. Our third act, great.
Yes.
We'll be right back. All right, man. It's time to get it on and hit the main topic, man. So we're doing Day Shift, starring. Let me pull that up. Day Shift is starring Jamie Foxx and action comedy fantasy. 2022, rated R, 1 hour, 53 minutes. A hard-working blue-collar dad who just wants to provide a good life for his quick-witted 10-year-old daughter has a mundane San Fernando Valley pool cleaning job is a front for his real source of income, hunting and killing vampires. Holy shit. This stars who, Tifobot?
I had muted myself somehow on accident.
It's cool.
I'll treat.
I'll edit it.
So,
Who, Tifobot?
so Jamie Foxx, as you said, Dave Franco, Snoop Dogg, Natasha Bordizzo, that's the daughter, Natasha Liu Bordizzo, excuse me, Megan Good, Carla Souza. I know you love Megan Good. Steve Howie, Scott Adkins, Oliver Mazzucci, Eric Lang, Peter Stormare.
Oh God, Megan Good. Tiff, the dirty bathwater effect. Holy
I know, here it comes.
Woo! Shit! Anyway, so let's get it rolling, man.
Yes.
So, the thing, one thing about this movie is that it starts out unapologetically.
Well, are you going to give us a one word or what?
I was, but I was just want to say it starts
okay, sorry. It gives you a little, okay.
Unapologetically being who it is.
Okay.
So I dig that. I love when movies don't like I don't want to make an excuse. So I love it. So before we go any further, it's time for one word. Tip, one word. What you got with Day Shift?
I'm gonna say wee.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you. My one word is fun. I had a lot of fun watching this movie because it was what it was. Will I remember it?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what it kind of struck me as? I mean, there's lots of movies like this, but R.I.P.D., which we've talked about before.
Fun.
Where you have a fun time. Don't really remember what happens in it, but
I enjoyed the shit out of it, but I don't remember a goddamn thing, right? But it was fun.
I was a little bit worried about this movie because I knew we had to postpone recording because I had an internet issue. But I was worried about it because I was like, oh, I'm going to forget what happens in this movie before we talk about it.
Right. I agree with you 100%, but it didn't happen with me. The movie was very fun.
Oh, it's very fun. So look, when I first started watching it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. But here's the thing. There's a certain threshold of when you're watching a movie where maybe you're not going to love it, but it's a tolerable movie. And I'm not saying that that's what's happening here, but you can kind of tell the difference between right away, something that you can tolerate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the first barometer. You're like, am I going to tolerate this? Am I going to, maybe kind of enjoy myself? Am I going to love it? Do you know what I mean? So right away, you can kind of tell just from the kind of establishing shots that it's a talented filmmaker as far as just technicality is concerned.
100%.
At least.
Yeah, 100%.
But you're right. And the thing about it is this movie starts off really actiony right away.
Yeah.
Which is great.
100%.
Fighting grannies, fist fighting some grannies.
Yeah, so he's got this pool boy pickup truck and he goes.
Which he kind of goes through the motions of doing even though he doesn't need to.
Right. And the next thing you know, he's up in this apartment and this lady comes out and she kind of looks at him. She's an older lady and she looks at him like, what the fuck? Right? She's like, what are you doing here? Next thing you know, it's battle.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now,
go ahead.
this is like I do think that like I enjoyed this fun, right? Like this is part of the fun.
I did too.
I do
really
I do
did.
think some of the fights went on a little bit too long because a lot of it is just like the floppy body stuff, and I was like, this first one especially. This is the I think actually this is the worst one. Not because she's an old lady, because there's a lot of like whatever, but I was like, I get it.
Yeah, she's even though despite the fact that she's an older female, she has the agility of a prime human suspect. Even
Right.
heavier duty, right? And so you were kind of like, okay, yeah, it did kind of go long, but
Right, but I think like I get that I kind of get it because like it was establishing everything because like from there on out I didn't think that about any of the fights. I thought they were all really well timed,
I would agree with you, especially like
but this one seemed
yeah,
long for some reason.
with the brothers who walked in. So we'll get to.
I love the brother.
I don't you don't you 100%. And so yeah, so he ends up killing this old lady and her what other vampires who was in the
There was
house.
like younger vampires in the
Yeah.
house.
And quickly they establish that it's all about money because goes down and grabs the fangs. It's all about it's like a trophy hunting, you know,
Hmm.
despite
And
the
at first
fact.
you don't know like how exactly the situation's going, but like he picks up his daughter and from school and they go and then here's the thing. I at first I was like, I think I'm gonna like this daughter daddy stuff more than
Yeah.
I liked the vampire stuff because that vampire fight went on so long. But then like it changed. But I thought this was so charming. He picks his daughter up, they go to frozen yogurt, and then he takes her back home. You find out that he's divorced, right?
You know what? Because
Or
Jamie Foxx
separated.
he had the uncanny ability of making you believe that he was a single dad, not
Or that he was
struggling,
just on his way home
not
to see his
struggling, but
wife.
just like being like, I'm divorced, and this is my kid, and this is what we do. Not, I'm going to show you how much I try. It was like, this is what we do. And I thought that
Hmm.
was interesting because there's a difference, of this is what we do, or this is I'm so good. I'm trying to show you how dedicated I am. No, this is what they did. They got ice cream. They hung out. The daughter was so familiar with the Jamie Foxx character that you never questioned whether if they were a family. And I was like,
Yeah.
brilliance, brilliance, really good, really good. And so yeah, they have this routine, and he's a vampire hunter, like a fat rat. But then they show you like these little hidden gems, like he's like washing up with this special soap, and you know,
The special soap.
special soap, and they show you these rituals that he's doing that you like. This must be vampire stuff.
Yeah, I like so I do like this little stuff that like he does at the beginning. I think this movie does a really good job of saying like, oh, he doesn't tell you what the soap's for, you don't know what this
Exactly.
is for, blah blah blah. And then later when he kind of has the audience stand in, which is James Franco,
Yeah, yeah.
you find out what he was doing earlier, even though you assumed you kind of got I thought that was really fun. Um but what we find out is that the family is like needing money, which is weird because they live in a very nice house.
Whoa. So let me cue that dirty bathwater music.
Here she comes.
When he walks in and Megan
Oh,
Good, that
we should talk
ass,
about her butt.
that ass,
I was like, this is clearly for everybody. We're
the
all looking at the
ass.
ass.
I'm like, look at the ass. And, I was just like, y'all. And
Like it was almost like an advertisement for those leggings that everybody wears. It's supposed to make your ass look real good.
holy shit. I was like, okay, you got me. Megan Good, I'm in.
And
And
it kept going.
it did get going, Tiffo, but it went too
You were
far.
like, surely there will be no more
It went too
ass.
far,
Well, I mean,
Tiffo.
I wasn't upset about it, but I was like, it does keep going. So we
She's
find out like that they're
cleaning up the floor.
divorced.
But
Yeah,
the house
yeah.
is dope. The house is like,
Yeah,
holy
it's
shit.
that, like how what
And in
does she
LA,
do?
that would be like a
That right?
$5
That's
million
just like
house.
yes, that's what I was. And here's the thing: I know I'm old because
Yeah.
like I'm like you can't afford that property. You know what I mean? Like where I was like watching it and I was like, I know how much that would cost. If
Yeah.
you're in dire straits, you can't afford the braces, but you don't have insurance.
That was
Which,
a
by the
$5
way, they
million
have a
house.
union. They would have insurance for this
Mm.
vampire hunting guild.
He wasn't in the union. So
Right, but he's trying to get into the union, right?
yeah. So
Oh, this is
yeah.
before. But
Yeah.
here's the thing about that. I have a question.
Yes.
The one thing I couldn't figure out about this movie, still questioning,
Mm-hmm.
is so people don't know there's vampires, but there's like a lot of vampire activity, I feel.
No, Tifobot in every vampire movie.
That's not true. Sometimes people know there's vampires.
Yeah, in some movies they do, but most vampire movies people don't know. It's a hidden secret. So the wife didn't know, the daughter didn't know, but Jamie Foxx knew, and so he wants to get back into the guild, like the Mandalorian.
He wants to make some money.
You're right, because when
So he tries to sell some things to his buddy, and that doesn't work out.
and I love this actor. This actor.
Yeah, he pops up everywhere, and he's so great.
He is so great at being a piece of shit, low
He
life.
piece of shit. He's
I
like,
loved him in
yeah.
Armageddon.
He's always just like wearing a robe.
He was like, "You guys are a bunch of fucking cowboys." He's so great, but he's paying him like 2% on a dollar. Then what he could.
I don't know.
No, it was like literally 2%, and so
How do you know how much the value of the teeth is?
because he was making nothing. He was saying he said he could make.
Yeah, but you're like 2%. I'm like, of what? I don't know the standard value of
so
vampire teeth.
He's getting like $200 for those fangs.
But how do you know how much they're worth?
But because he said at the guild he would have got $2,000 for it.
Okay. Oops.
So 2%. So, he's like a bottom feeder from the beginning. And so
Of course.
so just like, okay, so he decides he's gonna go and he's gonna try to get with the union. But in the meantime, they show this high powered real estate agent vampire who's like controlling everything, and she's pissed because this old lady got murdered by the vampire killer, and she's like, find out who this is, and you're like, oh shit, this is bigger than what it is. This is bigger than what it is. I have to tell you, Tiff, about it.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a stretch to figure out that this old lady was not so old in the vampire John in the vampire.
Right.
I was like, oh, she.
Here's the thing. I think you know how you're always like, I turned my brain off, and I'm like, I don't do that. I think this might be one of the first times I was able to be like, yeah, who gives a fuck?
Timberwolf!
I was like, fucking sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And you enjoy this shit better, right?
More fighting, please.
Right. So
yeah, here's the thing. Is like they did say like John Wick, right? That was the commercial for this, was like John Wick, whatever. And I do agree there's a lot of great action in this movie, but like John Wick's different because it's like practical. Some of this is not practical.
Right. It's over the top, and which I actually.
But I like it. I liked it, but it's not the same.
Yeah, no, it's not the same, but 100%. So, so the action is different, and the daddy is still alive, and he's like looking for his daughter, and she's still alive, because she's this cute little beautiful girl, and he's just trying to keep him safe, but you knew this shit wasn't gonna last. So a neighbor moves in his apartment complex, and it seems like everybody is aware of the vampire thing in his apartment complex. I
don't know. I think
that?
that was kind of like no, I think that was like foreshadowing, kind of.
Possibly.
I don't even think we really need to talk about the neighbor, because that was more just like happened. She could have been left out of the plot, and it wouldn't have mattered.
But she's actually a big deal.
I like her. I love her character.
She's cast in Star Wars as Sabine.
Oh, watch out, everybody!
No, motherfucker, you. She's like
motherfucker, you.
She's playing a pretty big role in the future in Star Wars, and so she she moved in, and he's like, everything is cool, but then everything goes to shit, Tifobot. It's all a trap. The whole thing is a trap, Tifobot.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's more Star Wars. But he gets like,
Watch the Moth Gideon unboxing now on
and
Phantom Patrol on YouTube.
you
A
should.
little Star Wars drop, you fucks. A little Star Wars drop.
Hey Tim, I got more
What?
dolls. That's more pop.
I have all the dolls. Anyway, fuck, we're talking about Day Shift. Go on.
So, he's getting these jobs, and he gets his tip to go to this place. And my favorite scene in the movie.
No, did you already talk about how you picked up James Franco as a partner?
Oh well, that happened, right? James Franco.
So like, fuck that. That happens basically. Yes, he's nervous. He pisses his pants or whatever.
I love it. I love it because he's like.
Oh, I love him too. I think he's great.
He's such a foil to what's going on.
Yes,
everybody's so masculine and macho, and he's just like, look, dude, I want to go in the office. What the hell is going on? Because they sent him to be a spy to him to fuck him over, but he's just like, dude, I just want to stay alive, and these goddamn things are trying to kill me. And he's such a great character. He's such a great.
I love that he is. So basically, the thing about it is that like I feel like these are very natural interactions, and every time I thought, he's gonna he's gonna fucking find out that they're gonna become friends, and then he's gonna find out that he's a Judas, basically. And I was like, oh, they did it right away. He found out right away he was a Judas. Like every time I thought that I knew what this movie was gonna do, Brilliant. It surprised me.
Brilliant, right? It's like we're not gonna take.
And they became friends anyway.
Super fast, And I just like seeing the Franco character, just like he was just so stressed out by the shit he was doing,
I do love that he pissed his pants. And here's the thing, I think that it was all handled very normally because he was like, God damn it, it's fine, basically. Get in the back.
This movie was a total ripoff of John Travolta, his movie. Paris, what was it? Shit. It was the same dichotomy between him and another character. It was with Paris from Love. Holy shit. With Paris from Love, it was the exact same dichotomy where a younger character came in and he was following the older agent, and the older agent was off the hook, and he was like Mr. Rulebook, and the same thing happened. It was great.
You know what? Blah 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 blah.
God damn it.
I don't care.
With
James Franco,
love, y'all. Look at that shit. So anyway, we get to the point that all the shit goes down in this movie, Tiff, and it's like bad at this point because they take the daughter, right? They take the daughter, and her ass is like nabbed, and this Jamie Foxx his character doesn't know what to do. He's like, what the fuck? They beat up the wife, right?
Yeah, and then they take the wife too.
Beat up the wife, take the daughter, and he's like, what to do? So then he goes back to the thing.
And
what else happened?
They make James Franco a vampire.
I was surprised that happened like it.
I was too. And I'll tell you because that's the one part if you think too much, but I was, I was Montegoing because I was not thinking about too much. Is that if you can extend the fact that this person who's barely been a vampire, so you don't know how they're going to be, is a good person.
I love when he hits that dude immediately.
Yes. He's like, oh, too soon.
What I do that?
So if you can believe that one's a good one, then how do you know anyone's a good one or a bad one?
Well, I think that's the journey of the show, right? Because he's like, I know what happened. And he goes into the neighbor's house. What the hell? And they fight, and she beats his ass. And they fight, and she beats his ass. And she's like, look, I got turned immediately. This bitch is the problem, this real estate lady, and let's go. So it wasn't like I'm not evil, but they use
right. But there's not really any. There's no proof that that's any more true for her than it would be for any of them. Do you know what I mean?
No. In that sense, it's a gut feeling. Either I go with this person and I get murdered, or I go with this person and she's the truth, right? So, I think that was like a basic human emotion. That what do you do in an instance where things is like out of control, and so well he chose wisely, right? So
Yeah, I mean,
he has a team. He has the baby vampire who was a nerd,
I exactly yes.
and he has the uber vampire who was actually still uh, like new,
Young, but had been around enough to know.
and she can at least do some kung fu fighting. Huh,
You guys,
right?
I will say this is the start of the end of the movie where like everything is very cool because they're like, we're going out. So just before they get inside, Snoop Dogg.
I know.
Uh, listen, I actually do not mind this. I really actually fucking loved it. He shows up.
He was playing
As
Whistler. He was playing Whistler from
this is
Blade.
kind of the Deus Ex Machina, right? Because he's kind of like, well, not really, because he doesn't solve all the problems, but like he comes in and he helps them get inside, right? And then he
I like the
sacrifices
scenes in the
himself.
beginning when he was like trying to get his boy in. I was like, that's really nice. He was like, I'm vouching for you. Do what you got to do. And he got in.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good Snoop Dogg.
Oh shit! Check that. What's up, little bitches?
That one was bad.
That was bad, right?
It had to be natural off the cuff. But I did like the scene, like he gets them inside, and then like there's a scene where there's like obviously some vampires. He's been hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and and I was like, here's the thing. I thought he surely would explode himself because I thought the character was so well developed in that way that you were like, he would just go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, 100%. It's good observation. I agree with you 100%.
So like that's what he does, right? Boo. And then we're at the kind of like final situation, where they fight the final lady.
Yeah, which was not really climactic.
Cause like they left the two younger vampires out with sub boss, kind of like her little
Yeah,
henchman,
yeah, yeah.
and that fight was fine, and I liked it, whatever. And then he goes in, and yeah, the fight was fine.
It was fine, right?
Here's the thing: at this point, I was already in love. It was like we were in the afterglow
Right,
at this
right.
point. You
But
you
look,
could do me no wrong.
exactly. They win. She's gone.
Yeah.
And it's over.
She's gone. Happy day. Everyone,
Right.
even our vampire, we can all learn to be friends.
The coolest part was when Jamie Foxx.
I loved that too.
when
Wait,
he was like-
sorry.
He's like, "Why you walking up here all fast?" He's like, "Man, I ain't knew you could move that fast." And like the guy's like trying to bitch them out like the old like '80s police captain, and he had nothing, right? And so then they were like, we're here to stay. What's the problem? Because they didn't know that the not the James Franco, but the Franco character was a vampire.
Was a vampire, yeah.
Yeah. And so they had this little crew, and he's like trying to like stick it to him, and he was like, "You killed a legacy character," and because they thought Snoop Dogg was dead, but then he pops out of the sewer talking about. One thing I hate about LA, one thing I like about LA is all the damn vampires, Lost Boys. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, cool. He wasn't turned, he wasn't anything like that. He's like, they set it up for a sequel if there's gonna be a sequel, which it could be, 100%.
So I did they kind of had the titular title. I think they mentioned day shift, but I did kind of like that at the end they were like, "Welcome to the night shift."
Night shift, right.
Because he was a vampire, and I thought that was really cute. Really liked it. Anyway, would watch more.
Yes. What? Look, they did Army of Darkness and then the Thieves of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Do day shift, now is night shift. Do that shit. Maybe that's what they got. Maybe that's
you know what? Listen, stop giving away ideas for free.
Right.
We have money to be made. Listen, if you want to unlock the ideas package, it's $1 on Patreon.
Right. But we wait for more than dollars if you trying to get some shit going here. We'll collaborate with you for free. No, we won't. We'll collaborate with you.
We're reaching the end. We're reaching the end.
So anyway, man, that's it, Jeff. We came to do the damn thing. We got it done, man. We
did.
So we did like a list.
A one shot,
and then we did day shift.
Main topic.
Indeed. So next week, guys. Shit. I'm not sure, Tiffo, but I think that Sylvester Stallone movie is out there, man.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah. It looks so good. It's on Amazon Prime, I think. Anyway, I'm the host of Fantasy Patrol. My name is Montego Bradley. With me is my super fine co-host, Miss Tifflebot. Say goodbye to the people with your fine ass, Tifflebot.
No.
Look what I did. Look what I did.
It's been a pleasure as always.
Indeed. And until next week, man, we will be
on
patrol. It's patrol time.